June 26th, Route 23 North to Mount Wilcox South Shelter, our first backpacking trip on the AT. We started from the parking lot off of Route 23, a nice large AT parking lot. When we entered the trail, we had to look around for the AT, as we had a hard time finding the path due to all the overgrown weed and bushes where it started out from the parking lot. When we finally got through the overgrowth, we began to climb immediately. This was the first time that we had a backpack on in years. A cold front was supposed to arrive, and we are still waiting for it to arrive. We had reached Blue Hill Road and found out that it was passable by car. After walking for a mile with heavy packs on to come to this tar road with houses on it, it was very depressing. This section was very swampy. After crossing the road, the trail went up a rocky climb. The hiking book said that there was a view up here. However, it was all grown in. We crossed another old dirt road which had power lines on it, but was not passable by car. Then we crossed yet another old paved road, but still not really passable by our car anyways, and saw Benedict Pond. Lots of people were canoeing on the pond, and we stepped onto a park circle trail that went around the pond. The AT walks some of the trail. It is also a good way to get to the AT from the parking area for the pond. The trail left the park trail after crossing a wooden bridge on another dirt road, and then started its climb up to Mount Wilcox. This section of the trail was nice with mountain laurel and views of the mountain that we were climbing. It turned out to be a nice day with the wind picking up. A tree limb had fallen between us, Dave in front, and the limb landed in front of me. This was a close call as the tree limb could have hit one of us. The trail had a steep descent and crossed 2 streams and then climbed again. We reached a sign that said Wilcox Shelter and had to hike off the AT to the shelter. On our way, we saw a paper taped to a tree that said Spring that pointed into the woods. We reached the Mount Wilcox South Shelter. A man was sitting in the shelter. He told us that he was a trail maintainer for this section of the trail. This log shelter had no bunk bed in it and looked very old. Dave wanted to sleep here. He was getting sore. I did not want to spend the night here, so we headed out and started another climb up. We found a nice flat area off the trail at the top of the hill on a plateau and set up our first campsite on the AT. It was right off the trail near a mud pit. The hiking book said that it had great views, but it was also grown in. We had trouble getting water. Dave was having a hard time getting a prime with the water filter. We may need to get a new one. We set up our tent and had dinner, tuna with tortilla shells, no cooking required. We had leaf litter when we got into the tent and it got into our sleeping bags. I slept on and off during the night, not a good night for sleeping. The weather was cool and the wind was blowing in the trees. It was great seeing the moon was out and shining in the woods. June 27th. It was now morning, and now the sun was shining on the top of the tent. It was a cool morning with the forest exploding with the sounds of birds. Dave said that he heard an owl at the crack of dawn, maybe around 4:30. We headed back to the spring to get water and went to the shelter to eat our breakfast. The mosquitoes were very active during this trip, and I got a lot of bites through my pants last night. We met some through hikers on the trail that were going all the way to Katahdin Mountain, the end of the AT going north. The good parts of the trail were the cool temperatures, listening to wind in the morning and the birds. Dave had liked getting away from it all and enjoying being in the woods. The bad parts were not being able to sleep, the tent is too short, the discomfort, and the mosquitoes. We were itchy and really dirty, and Dave had twisted his ankle a lot on the trail. But I am feeling like we really enjoyed being out in nature. The backpacking, well, it was a challenge, and we did it.